Good morning, everybody. You are listening to K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home, and I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki. And today, our very special guest on the 4th of July is none other than Jonathan Garcia, who represented the United States of America in the Olympics. That's very fitting. I didn't even think of that until I started saying that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until just now.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So, I'm super excited because I love, I was telling... Who was I? Was I telling Tyrone this the other day? That Tyrone is the place for the University of Utah, and I said my favorite show to watch, if you can call it a show, happens every 2 years, which is the Olympics, right? And it's summer, winter, summer, winter. Yeah. Because I'm absolutely fascinated with greatness. Like all my life, growing up as a kid, I was just, you know, I realized that I was attracted to greatness. Like watching Michael Jackson on stage in the 80s when the stadiums would go nuts. Yeah. I realized at a young age, that guy's not like me. There's something a little bit great about his performance on stage, you know, like I was just a little kid, like, you know, going to elementary school. But I could understand and realize greatness at a young age. And then ever since then, I've just like followed it. And so the Olympics is obviously the best athletes in the entire world competing at a particular sport, which intrigues me, just incredibly. And so, did you ever see that episode of David Letterman where, I can't remember, an Olympic athlete tested positive for steroids, and he goes, well, let's just let all of them do steroids. Don't we want to see the best? Anyway, what the human body is capable of doing, drugs or not drugs, that was kind of funny. And at that time, not for the person who was obviously busted for steroids. But, Jonathan, so, you know, there was a day that the Olympics probably wasn't even an idea in your head, right? And I love kind of hearing the story about whatever you were doing all of a sudden inspired your pursuit to greatness. Do you mind sharing with us how you decided to eventually pursue the Olympics? And I'm going to push this a little closer to you.
Yeah. So it was it was like a light switch for me. It was a very black and white moment, like wanting to go to the Olympics and then wanting to go. It happened in '94.
Okay.
I was watching Lillehammer, the '94 Olympics. It was the first Olympics that I watched. I was 6 or 7.
Okay.
My parents explained to me, hey, this is what the Olympics are. It's very special. It only happens once every 4 years. The best athletes in the world.
Yeah.
And kind of the only thing I was into prior to that was cars. My dad was really big into muscle cars.
Okay.
So I liked anything that went fast.
Yeah.
So I watched speed skating, and I watched Dan Jansen, the American, win the gold medal in the 1,000 meter.
Yeah.
And that was the light switch for me. I didn't know anything about speed skating. I didn't know anything about Dan, which was pretty crazy because his story, minus the Olympic medal, is already amazing. So adding that is just kind of like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know anything about it. I just saw that he won, and I was like, I don't know how or when or what, but I want to do that. Like, I want to be a speed skater and represent the United States at the Olympics.
That's incredible.
That was kind of the inception that happened that day.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept up with speed skating a little bit.
Yeah.
As much as I could. I grew up in Houston, Texas, so not a lot of speed skating down there.
Right.
And about 4 or 5 months later, I had a friend who had a birthday party at a roller rink.
Okay.
And after the birthday party, they had an inline speed skating team.
Oh.
That was practicing or training.
Yeah.
And I told my mom, I was like, that's like 90% of like what I saw on TV. So can we start doing this? And I was already playing roller hockey at the time.
Oh, got it.
So got into it like that.
Yeah.
Had my first pair of speed skates a couple months later.
Get out of here.
And that's kind of how it started. And that rink was 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So it made it a lot more feasible or accessible for me to at least start this dream.
Yeah.
And being a kid, you're just really naive.
Yeah.
And in my mind, like I said, oh, this is very similar to what Dan was doing.
Yeah.
In reality, it's very different than what Dan was doing. Not so much like the level, but the atmosphere. Like, I'm on roller skates
versus ice. Yeah.
And it's just completely different. and that's kind of how it started. I did that for 14 years.
Wow.
Went to the World Championships a few times, got a bronze medal in 2006, and right around that time, the United States Olympic Committee was looking at the results from the 2002 Olympics, a little bit of the 98, 2002, and 2006, and realized that roughly, the vast majority of the medals that were being won by male, female, short track, and long track speed skating Olympics were previous inliners that had made the transition to ice.
No way.
So they started a program out here in 2007, taking the top 5 males and top 5 females in inline speed skating in the United States.
Yeah.
And did a 2-year transitional program.
Okay.
I was part of that first wave of
Got it.
athletes that came over in that specific program.
Really?
Got real lucky at the very end of that 2 years when the program was ending for me. I made my first national team, so I kind of was able to.
Wow.
Yep. That's actually when me and JR started kind of really skating together full time.
Got it.
And then a few years after that, it's probably 4 or 5 years after that, maybe 3 years after that, because of political reasons, I ended up switching from short track to long track.
Okay.
Which was about 13, 14 months before Sochi.
Got it.
And then ended up making that Olympic team, and this kind of never looked back. And then won another quad and skated in Korea in 2018. So.
Amazing, amazing. So you were 6 when you discovered it. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you got your first pair?
My first pair of skates.
Oh, of skate. Yeah, you said you were doing the, and then you switched over.
I was probably 7.
Okay, so it was like a year later.
Yeah, I got a pair of skates pretty quick.
Got it.
My parents were super awesome.
That is so cool. And so I'm kind of rewinding because this is just more of a curiosity thing. So now you live 5 minutes from the ice skating rink, but is anybody even speed skating? I mean, there's people ice skating, right? So you get over there, and how do you start training?
Once I moved here?
No, when you were at 5 minutes from your ice skating rink.
It wasn't an ice skating rink. It was an inline skating.
Inline skating. Oh, okay, okay,
so
gotcha.
Like I said, I did that for 14 years. So I didn't really skate very much ice at all before I moved here. So that
was the transition hard?
That transition was probably one of the hardest transitions I've ever had.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's hard because they're so similar, but
Yeah.
at the same time they're so vastly different.
Got it.
So that's what makes it really hard, because in your mind it's like, oh, the movement's pretty much the same, but the entire physics of it is completely different.
Got it.
Like on a wheel, you kind of have grip on the entire surface of the wheel.
Sure.
So if you're on an edge, you're on top of the wheel.
Oh,
on the
that
side,
makes sense.
You have traction, right?
Yeah.
On an ice blade, it's completely flat on the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you're not on an edge, you don't have grip. And
Right.
you kind of realize that once you start to transition, you're like, wow, I spent a lot of time when I was on inlines on top of my skates.
Got it.
Which, if you do that on ice, you have literally no traction. You're just like sliding around because you're just on flat
Yeah,
edge. So
that makes sense.
it's very different.
Very different. Very different. Okay. So then, how old were you when you committed and moved to Utah?
I was a few months shy of 21. I was
Okay.
20. It was like September of 2007.
Wow.
So I was almost 21 when I moved out here and started this. Which sounds like now is like crazy to start ice skating that late, but
that goes to show how talented you are. I'm sure you're still talented.
I'm all right. I got a little bit left.
That's incredible. Okay, so you move here, and when you move here, is like there are people that are automatically training you? Like you've made this team, and now there's coaches that are residing here? I assume?
So U.S. Speed Skating is based out of Salt Lake City. They've been here for, I think they moved here right before, at least for long track, they were here right before the Olympics. So
Got it.
They probably moved here in 2000.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
There. Yeah, so the entire U.S. Speed Skating, like national team, governing body, is all here just in Kearns.
Oh, okay.
At the Utah Olympic Oval. So everything is based out of here.
Got it.
So all the best skaters in the United States train here. So yeah, when I first moved here, I had a coach, still good friends with Derek Barra, so he won gold here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Derek was my coach.
Yeah.
He still is my coach in a way. Sometimes I call him like, hey, what do you think about this or this? And still kind of go over like training programs with him and stuff like that. So.
Oh, that's cool.
He was the transitional coach for the inliners to ice, because he did that as well. He was also inliner, just like JR was.
I didn't realize that. Wow, is he still involved in any way?
Yeah, he's involved, but he's more general population type involved. He's
Got
not elite level. He's actually, I think, the director of the Oval now. So,
okay.
he works with hockey. He works with figure skating. He does a lot of the planning events that happen at the Oval.
Got it.
Yeah, so he pretty much runs the Oval now.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So before 2000, where did the skating? Where was the headquarters?
Well, it's kind of split up before.
Okay.
So there was a short track national
okay.
team, and then there was a long track national team, and then on top of that, the headquarters for like the national governing body, the offices,
Yeah.
they were in Cleveland.
Oh.
The long trackers, the national team, was in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee.
Oh.
And then the short trackers trained at the United States Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs.
Oh,
so
wow.
all three
Yeah.
were in 3 different places,
Got it.
which logistically makes no sense.
Right.
So they once it was probably the short trackers got here last.
Gotcha.
Maybe the short trackers moved here in 2006 or 2007 from
Okay.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
They moved the program here, and then so since last 13 years, everything short track, long track, national team, and NGB have all been here in Salt Lake. So
Got it. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Excellent. Okay, so you are now pursuing elite level type athletics, not just little league at this point, right?
I'm doing a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So I have some pretty young athletes. I have a little bit older athletes, but yeah, I'm kind of pretty diverse across the board when it comes to the athletes that I'm working with right now. So
Got it. Okay. Perfect. So when did mindset become something for you as as an athlete? I have this saying that your mindset's like a muscle, right? If you don't work it out, it stays weak.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, and the mind is one of the biggest components, I think, to a lot of people's success, if not everyone's.
100%.
Yeah. So how old were you when you discovered, oh, this is something I need to keep positive, keep working on, or start working on?
I'm sure when I was probably like mid-teens.
Got it.
When I first started, I was kind of decent. Didn't really like to work too hard
Yeah.
when I was younger, and then that kind of caught up to me like 13, 14, 15. The competition I was skating against really started, training,
Yeah.
and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I was going to these competitions and just getting roasted.
Ah.
So that went on for a little while, and it got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm either gonna quit
Yeah.
or I'm gonna start training hard and get better.
Right.
And that was probably 14, 15.
Got it.
Somewhere around there, maybe 16. Yeah, probably 16. Got a new coach. I ended up moving I moved my training team from Houston to Waco, Texas. There's
Okay.
a really, really awesome coach
Oh, cool.
in Waco. So I trained by myself 5 days a week.
Wow.
And then 1 day a week, I made the 3-hour drive each way to Waco to work with my coach.
Wow.
And then I had 1 day off every week.
Holy cow.
So that was when I was 16. That was and he really helped me kind of change my mindset. I still feel like I'm, like how I changed how I think about things.
Yeah.
I still feel like that now. So I feel like not much has changed up here very much in
Uh-huh.
my head.
Yeah.
Since then, that was like a really formative time.
Got
for
it.
me. So that really kind of changed things.
I
And
love
I don't
it.
think I would have had any success in skating if it wasn't for Chris, my coach in Waco. So that was a big game changer for me. So
Very cool. Okay. So, did you have any mindset rituals that you practiced, let's say, on race day? Let's say it's the Olympics, right? Sochi.
Yeah.
The morning you wake up. Maybe your mindset preparation happens even as early as the night before, but walk me through race day, you getting your mind ready, making sure no doubt creeps in. What does that look like?
So I have a very different mindset than most
Okay.
people. Almost all the people I ever competed against, and even my teammates, race day, they're normally very serious. And that's definitely not a bad thing, but that just did not work for me. If I
Got
was
it.
too serious, I would just overthink things. And so for me, it was just about staying loose.
Okay.
So just joking around and just treating it like every other day.
Yeah.
And for me, that was the most important. And that was the thing that I really struggled with my teammates and other athletes that I competed against. It's like, you're like this 365 days or 364 days out of the year,
Right.
and then you're gonna change your personality the day of your race. Like
Right.
that just didn't make any sense to me, because the whole, like, the way we train to make everything as realistic as possible for our race.
Oh, right.
Okay, so why change your mindset to being like super serious and like no 100% focus? And I'm not saying focus isn't good. I focus as well, but I just had to stay loose.
Yeah.
If I got serious or stressed, like that was the worst for me. I would have the worst results if that happened. So for me, I really had to just pretend, sometimes actually really pretend like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Or just kind of realize, like, all right, yes, it's the Olympics, but it's not going to make or break your life, regardless if you get dead last or first.
Right.
So just kind of putting everything into perspective was also really important for me, as far as not freaking out. Or,
Right.
you know, having being able to put my best foot forward and having a really good performance. Just really just taking it easy. I normally listen to a ton of music. I'd even listen to comedy sometimes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just to get loose. One of my big race day rituals, especially the last probably 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
I'd watch a lot of like Ric Flair like promo
Uh-huh.
videos. Like,
Yeah.
just get super loose, but like also get amped at the same time.
Right.
Just not take yourself too seriously.
Right.
I mean, like I said, it was speed skating. Like, yeah, it was cool, but it was literally speed skating. So
Yeah.
it's like let's not make it bigger than it actually is.
Right. So staying relaxed seems like it was very, very key to you.
Yeah.
That makes
when
sense.
I was stressed, I felt like time.
Tight.
I feel really tight, but
Yeah.
I feel like time would pass a lot faster.
Oh, sure.
And I wouldn't prepare, so I wouldn't do my normal, because I'd be stressing the entire time.
Yeah.
So if I could stay relaxed, like everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
And then probably my biggest race day ritual actually happened the night before.
Okay.
Right before I went to bed, I would know my pair, so I know who I'd be skating against at that time.
Got it.
Because we normally get the pairs the night before.
Oh,
I would know
gotcha.
what lane I was in, starting in, so either outer or inner.
Oh, sure.
And I would go through the entire race, like in slow motion in my head.
Got it.
I would be, in my head, I'd be at the rink that we were racing at, in that lane.
Yeah.
Knowing my splits or what I wanted to hit through the race.
Yeah.
My split times. That was probably the biggest thing for me. So when race day came the next day, I had already done it.
Got it.
That was one of the things that probably helped me the most.
Got it.
So.
Got it.
And I knew if I could go through the entire race in my head in slow-mo,
Yeah.
that I had the focus that I needed.
Right.
There was a few times, probably more often than not, I would get halfway through the race and then I would start thinking about something else.
Right.
And I would have to start that race over again until I finished it. So
that makes sense. Gotcha. Okay. So when do butterflies kick in? Like when you're on your way to the stadium, or when you arrive at the stadium, or when you're lacing up your skates? When do butterflies start kicking in?
It's for me, it was different every time. Sometimes there was very few times where I wasn't nervous.
Uh-huh.
I was almost always nervous.
Sure.
But I would probably say like the night before was normally when things would start when I'd start visualizing the race in my head.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I was like, okay, now it's like, that was kind of the cue for me. Like,
sure.
This is go time. Like, we're about to get in the ring. Like, this is gladiator stuff. Like, this is when things are really going to happen. That was kind of the cue for me. Like, all right, this is race mode. Let's get a really good night's sleep here.
Yep.
Let's get organized, make sure everything's ready to go for the morning, and then just depending on where we were, we would race at different times.
Oh, right.
In Holland, speed skating is massive. So if we were in Asia, we would have to basically race prime time in Holland.
Oh.
Or if we were in the United States, we normally race prime time in Holland. So it wasn't like we raced or had competitions at the same time every year.
I didn't realize that.
Every World Cup or every World Championship. So
Yeah.
The Olympics are a little bit different because
Yeah.
the Olympics are worldwide, but for 99% of our races, it was kind of based off of, well, when is it prime time in Holland? So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Do they do that for, like, let's say the Olympic basketball team when it's prime time for us here? Do they take that?
Probably not. Well, maybe. Well, most of the Olympic stuff, if you're watching it in prime time, it's not live.
Right.
For the most part.
Gotcha.
It's almost always reruns.
Okay.
The Olympics is kind of separate because the Olympics is the Olympics. And
Yeah.
It's a worldwide thing.
Right.
But normally when like I said, when we have like a World Cup or a World Championship,
yeah.
The Dutch invest so much money, and they're the only ones that send like international TV crews to film everything.
Got it.
So like, and they have such a big stake in the sport that it's kind of based around them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to hear about a nightmare story. I know nothing about it, but we're going to hear about the nightmare story and the lesson that Jonathan was able to learn from it, so you're not going to want to go anywhere. Also, what we're going to do for the 4th of July, we're having a little contest here on the radio show. So if you log on to our YouTube channel, which is if you go to YouTube and you search Utah Home Sweet Home, and you will see our icon, click on it. When you get to the main page, there's a video that will automatically start playing. It's the welcome and thank you for visiting the channel video. If you comment, subscribe, and like that video, we're going to do a drawing, and since it is the 4th of July, we're going to give away $100 worth of fireworks, which you'll be able to use for the 24th. So, stay tuned. We will be right back after the commercial break.
Did you know the snap leash is the most convenient leash in the world? That's right.
This is the first time I am not reading the commercial. So I normally read the commercial live, but I recorded it for the first time. So like for 9 months, I read it live right here. But she just put the recording, so I actually don't have to read it right now. So this is the first time. What's that?
I would mess it up.
Oh yeah, seriously, I like stuttered through some of it. But this is actually kind of cool, right, Bailey?
Oh yeah.
I'm not actually reading it.
I usually just switches to commercial voice, and it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's so good. I like it. I like when you read it, but no, that's way easier.
Oh yeah, so much easier. I get to take a break for a second. But yeah, literally I said let's go to commercial, and then right there, like Bailey says, I'm like, just reading this into commercial style voice. So, all right, let's see here. We are ready to get back.
Okay.
All right, we are back. This is K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show Utah Home Sweet Home. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and Jonathan Garcia is our special guest. Happy 4th of July, everyone, and it's time for the nightmare story. So, Jonathan, if you don't mind sharing with us what you have prepared to share with us.
Yeah.
Please.
So I have a little bit of a nightmare story when it comes to my career.
Ah.
So in December 2013, U.S. Speed Skating decided to have our U.S. Olympic trials live prime time on NBC.
Okay.
It was the first time they decided to do that. So it was kind of a big deal.
Yep.
It was my first Olympic trials that I was, favorited to make the team.
Okay.
I had 2 shots. I had the 500, which was my second best race by a decent amount, but we had a little bit less competition in the U.S.
Got it.
So I had a good shot of making it, but not guaranteed or anything like that.
Sure.
And then the 1,000 meter, which is my best race, that was the race I was really, hoping to make it in.
Yeah.
So the 500 was first. It was the first or second race of the competition. It was my first race of the competition.
Got it.
And the way the 500 works is you do one race in the inner lane and then one race in the outer lane, and they average the 2 times together. And whoever the top athletes are, those are the ones that make the team.
Got it.
So I go out and skate my first race, and it's decent, but it wasn't good enough to make the team. I was probably 5th or 6th that day.
Okay.
It was only top 4, I believe.
Got it.
So I go downstairs. We have about a 2-hour break.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of decompress, and I'm just like, all right, well, if you're gonna make this team, like, you need to skate faster. Like, you can't do that again.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs, I mentally get prepared, resharpen my skates, kind of go through my normal routine, go back up there, and I skate the race of my life.
Oh, nice.
I think I skated 0.3 of a second faster the second time around, which is huge because the race is only 34 seconds.
Yeah,
It's a very fast race.
Yeah.
So I basically make the team, right?
Right.
I make the Olympic team. My coach is freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I wasn't really freaking out. I was kind of surprised in a way. I was super happy, and maybe about 5-10 minutes after my race, my coach comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, are you wearing your transponders?" And immediately I was like, "No, I'm not." So we wear transponders. It's the third timing device. It's just kind of like these little computer chips on a Velcro strap, and you put them around your ankles. You have one on each ankle.
Got it.
At the time, we wore them, but not like every single competition.
Gotcha.
But that being said, I should have known better. But I was just so focused on the race that I took them off after the first race and then kind of put them underneath my bench in the locker room, in the national team locker room.
Yeah.
And I just was so focused on skating well that I just totally forgot to put them back on. So the rules at the time basically said if you don't wear your transponder, you're disqualified.
Oh man.
So the reason that they thought that I made the team is because like I said, the transponder is the third timing device.
Got it.
So they had two timing, and it's basically the only way they ever use it is if the first two timing systems don't work. So there's a beam time, which is the most accurate, which is why it's number 1.
Yeah.
And there's photo finish, which is also extremely accurate, which is why it's number 2.
Got it.
And I had a time through both of those.
Yeah.
They didn't realize until after they went back and checked to make sure I had timing devices in all of the timing devices. So I basically went from making the Olympic team, my first Olympic team, which I've worked so hard for, to not.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, and I mean, Nat and Crystal were there for that.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what year was this?
This was 2013, so this is...
I think I remember this.
This was like a month and a half before Sochi.
Wow.
So I get off the ice, and surprisingly, I'm not super bummed.
Okay. Is it here in Utah?
Yeah. And
okay.
Even though this is a nightmare story, this is... I would not have traded this situation for anything.
Gotcha.
I think is one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because up until that day...
Yeah.
I felt like I had, not just to myself, but I felt more than just myself, I felt like I had to prove to everybody else that I was good enough to be an Olympic athlete or go to the Olympics.
Right.
And after that moment, after I made the team and then didn't make the team,
disqualified.
I realized in that moment that I didn't need that label. I didn't need that, that label of being an Olympic athlete.
You knew you were good enough.
I knew I was good enough.
Yep.
It didn't matter what. Nobody could take away the race I skated. I skated the race. I did what I needed to do to make the team.
Yep.
So in my mind, I knew I had the 1,000 meter, my best race the next day. In my mind, I just was surprising. I stayed pretty positive.
That's good.
I said, if I'm skating this good in the 500, I'm going to skate even better tomorrow on the 1,000.
Yeah.
So coming back to the reason I started skating, Dan Jansen.
Yeah.
He was the color commentator for NBC that Olympic trials.
Yeah.
So I had never met him.
Oh wow.
Even up until that point.
Holy cow.
So he came down from the booth before the next day in the 1,000. I'm stretching and warming up. He's like, "Hey, I'm Dan Jansen. I used to speed skate," and that's how he introduced himself. I used to speed skate. Not that he was a world record holder on the gold medal. Super humble guy.
On the weekends, I'd speed skate.
I used to speed skate. And he's like, "I think you're skating really well. If you just keep doing what you're doing, you'll make the Olympic team." And I just kind of looked at him like, "Yeah, dude, I know you are." I started skating because of you. So next day, I get out there, have a good warm up, felt really good, and then right before the race, I did 2 practice starts. That was kind of the weakest part of my race.
Yeah.
I tripped on both of them. Like I didn't fall.
Yeah.
But I kind of stumbled a little
Got
bit.
it.
And in my mind, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening right now. I was like, just go out there and skate. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Ended up skating in the new best race of my life.
No way.
I made the Olympic team. And yeah, so that was kind of my nightmare story. But like I said, I learned so much about myself.
Yeah.
And not having to worry about proving to other people.
Yeah.
To get that, that sense of accomplishment or, that label that other people want to bestow upon you.
Right.
That I knew that I was good enough with or without that team.
Yep.
And it didn't matter about the results and not being so results oriented, being more about who did you become in this process.
Yeah.
Because I didn't change.
Right.
I wasn't any better of a person once I made that Olympic team.
Right.
I was the same person regardless if I made that Olympic team or I didn't.
Right.
So that was a hard way to learn it.
Yeah.
But I learned that lesson, and luckily it didn't really change the course of anything by being disqualified. And now U.S. Speed Skating has changed that rule. So if somebody does that again, they will get disqualified, but they will still be on the Olympic team.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and it should be that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a selection process,
Yeah.
so you should want to send your best team, not your best team based off of technicality.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did they make that change right after your race?
It wasn't right after. It was like, so the way the rules are it's kind of set in stone. So I think it happened the next year after the board meeting.
Got it.
So they have board meetings to kind of go over all the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
And I think they realized, like, man, this could have been not good. I mean, think about if you had like, I wasn't the best athlete at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But think about, you have somebody who's won every single race.
Yeah.
At World Cups, World Championships, is the world record holder, world champion, and that happens to them, and you're going to tell them, oh, sorry, you're not going to the Olympics, even though you did what you needed to do. Like, it's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
So they changed the rule, I think, that summer, so 2014. The summer of 2014, so they
Got it.
Yeah.
Do they still ask that the athletes wear that thing on their-
Yeah. So the transponders now are every single race.
Got it.
So now we wear them, or they wear them every single time. So it's kind of a lot more ingrained in them.
Got it. Oh yeah, it's like putting on a skate now.
And then also too, the coaches will also check, because we wear like spandex, right? So you can totally see if somebody has them on or they don't. Even though we put them underneath our uniform, our skin suit, you can totally see, because there's like a little bump.
Got it.
If they have them on or not. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely a night story that, like you said, there was a lot of lessons that were learned that were very beneficial. And what I loved about the lesson is that I'm a huge believer on. We grow up caring what other people think.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I don't know how. Like I'm trying to think back. I don't know if my parents never told me you should care what people think. Right. Like that's never told to you, but you just somehow get that in your brain. And
it's kind of like a form of acceptance. It's like, oh, these people have accepted me now because they've said this.
Right.
Or they believe this, or they think I'm this good, or
right.
And I kind of another way I kind of stepped back. There was a lot of people in that Olympic trials that obviously didn't make that team that I had a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, do I look at this guy any differently because he didn't make the Olympic team?
True. Exactly.
Like if I had my own company, I'd hire him first before I hired some of the people that were on the Olympics.
Right.
Because making the Olympics doesn't change who you are.
Right.
It's the journey to get there who makes you who you are, and that's the most important part.
I totally agree.
So.
I love it. I love that. You don't, because I like I said, I believe that too. Like I don't. There was a time, obviously, when I did, but I don't care what people think anymore. Right. I don't know if I ever told you. So he just to refer back to Nat and Crystal, he referenced them. Nat Borchers is who he was referring to, and Nat Borchers' wife. Nat Borchers, for those of you may already know, he was on the Real Salt Lake team. He won the championship with Real Salt Lake soccer team. Got traded to Portland, then won it over there, and now he's the commentator for the Portland Timbers.
Yep.
But so my dad sent me to go to school at 18. I wanted to go to the University of Utah and try out for the football team, but he says, no, you're going to go to London, England, and learn how to do hair. And so for my first 20 years of my career, I was a hairstylist in New York City, and so I moved back, and I was watching a Real Salt Lake game. Nat had invited me and my wife, and we got tickets, and we were sitting there, and I was 39 at the time, and I was like bummed that I kind of missed, because I was like feeling that atmosphere. I was like, oh man, I missed my chance to see if I could have played. I'm not saying I would have made the team, but I would have liked to have tried to play for the U of U. So I researched what's the age limit, and because I never went to college, because my dad sent me to England right after high school, there is no age limit. Mm-hmm. So I hired John Manson, who played for the U of U and then the Oakland Raiders. For 2 years, I trained to try and play for the U of U at the age of 41. I would have been the oldest collegiate football athlete at a Division I school if I would have made the team. Long story short, I've told this story before on the show, so I won't go into it, but the NCAA rejected my eligibility. So I didn't even get to try out.
Oh, wow.
Right? But I remember when I was doing that, a lot of my buddies were like, I was 40. And they're like, dude, like, you're 40. Why are you committing 2 years of your life? I train twice a day. They're like, why are you committing all this time to something that's like almost impossible. And I was like, dude, I don't care what you think. I'm going to try, right? And I stopped caring what people think and started doing what I think I wanted to do, right?
It's so freeing, right?
It's so freeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
And happy birthday, Crystal. It's her birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that on Facebook this morning. Happy birthday, Crystal. Okay, so another thing that I absolutely love, besides being an Olympic athlete, is entrepreneurship. And you are also an entrepreneur.
I am.
Yes, and so I would love if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your company that you started up.
Yeah, so about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year ago, I started my own company. It's JG Athletics, JG Athletic Development.
Okay.
I mostly specialize in power skating for hockey players.
Okay.
But as I've gone down this path, I've become a little bit more diverse in athletes that I work with. So right now I have a downhill skier. So I've never downhill ski raced, but I've started to notice as I've been working in this industry that there's so many things that kind of blend into other sports, and a lot of tools that I've learned from speed skating that can be applied to other sports. So I've worked with speed skaters. I've obviously, and then my main business right now is hockey.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm constantly looking for new athletes because it makes me better as a coach, and then it's vice versa too. So I've learned some things from my downhill athlete that I can use with my hockey players.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of my business. I do a lot of off-ice training, obviously, with downhill skiing. Do a lot of off-ice training with hockey as well.
Yep.
It's one of the biggest things I've noticed. There's so much ice here in Utah, and hockey's not the biggest sport.
Right.
So everybody can get ice.
Right.
And a lot of the steps 1, 2, and 3 before you get to the ice get overlooked.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of chronic injuries that shouldn't be happening because of it. So there's a lot of step skipping as far as this athletic development has gone with youth hockey.
Right.
And so yeah, I always start with every athlete. I start with balance and coordination. Once we get those down, then we can start doing some strength and conditioning. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride. I've only been doing it full time for the past 6 months.
Got it.
Been in school full time for the past 2 years.
Gotcha.
So this spring semester of 2020 is the first semester I haven't taken 6+ classes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've really only been at it full time for about 6 months. I've been coaching on and off for about 3 now.
Got it.
So, but I didn't really start the company until last year. So, and now I think I was telling you a little bit earlier that I'm getting more into general population training as well too. So non-athletic athletes. So, my buddy who I partnered with last year, Jack Skilly, he's a professional hockey player. Played about 750 games in the NHL.
Wow. What team?
He was drafted in 2005 by the Blackhawks. He was actually in the same draft class as Crosby.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he played for the Blackhawks for a while. He played for the Blue Jackets for a little bit in Columbus.
Okay.
Played for the Panthers one season and Vancouver for another season, and he ended his NHL career in Denver for the Avalanche.
Wow.
So now
cool.
He took about a year off, and that's when we started working together last year.
Got it.
With hockey specifically.
Yep.
And then January 1st, he got a contract in Germany for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So now he's playing in the German professional league. And since then, he started his own company, FFT Life, which is where the general population comes in.
Got it.
And I've kind of partnered with him, and we're actually doing free workouts in Park City. So anybody that wants to come just needs to sign a waiver and work out with a professional hockey player and
Olympic athlete,
2-time Olympic athlete for free. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Bailey, download that waiver.
Yeah, so that's kind of my focus now. Obviously, I'm still focusing on my company, but I've been working with Jack with this FFT Life, which is his company. It's Functional Movement Training.
Gotcha.
Is what FFT Life stands for. And been working with him for the past couple of months. And he's actually out of town this week, so this is the first week that I've taken over the classes. I've been writing the training programs for everybody. We meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
At noon.
Got it.
And then when Jack gets back from his trip in a couple weeks, we're actually going to do 2 sessions every day. So he's going to do a 7 a.m. session, and I'll do the noon session, or vice versa.
Wow.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday up in Park City. So, free, awesome training. All you need is maybe a pair of dumbbells if we can't supply them for you.
Yeah.
Mini bands. Mini resistance bands, and that's it. And you can do a lot of these workouts at home. I've actually done a couple of these, so we've been doing them outside. So when the weather hasn't been cooperative,
Yeah.
I've been doing these sessions virtually.
Okay.
A Zoom session.
Sure.
And you can do these in your living room.
Got it.
It's,
Yeah.
great stuff, and it's extremely scalable. So some of the
Right.
stuff that I've learned with Jack over these past couple months,
Yeah.
this general population training, I've actually implemented into some downhill skiing training and some hockey training as well. So it's completely scalable, which is amazing. I wish I would have done more of this when I was an athlete, actually. So
Oh, no kidding.
yeah.
So where in Park City? Like at the high school field? Or
So we've been doing them at there's this 2 big soccer fields next to PC Hill.
Okay.
So like where the PC Hill hike is.
Yep.
So there's a parking lot, and just on the opposite side of that, there's and sometimes we do them by the Park City Ice Arena. Just depends, but most of the time we've done them at PC Hill.
Gotcha.
So yeah, anybody's more than welcome. Just get in contact with me and Jack, get a waiver signed, and that's all you need.
Wonderful.
And even if you don't have dumbbells, you can bring canned goods to use as resistance.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing that I also love about it. Even with my athletes,
Yeah.
when they go to a tournament for a week or whatever, they're not so dependent on equipment.
Right.
That's one thing I even noticed when I was an athlete. We did a lot of bike training,
Yeah.
and then that's kind of what we got used to. And then we go overseas, and we have an 8 or 6 person team.
Yeah.
And we can only travel with 1 bike.
Got it.
So how do I warm up for my race? Now I'm out of sync. I'm not.
Yep.
And same goes for general population. People get used to having all this fancy equipment at the gym that you don't really necessarily need.
Sure.
So when people go on business trips or travel, they're like, oh, well, I don't have this piece of equipment, so I can't do my workout.
Right.
Now that is not an excuse.
Right.
Because you can literally do these workouts anywhere.
Yeah.
And Jack's been awesome about writing these programs. He
Wow.
actually did a lot of these trainings while he was training, or when he was an NHL athlete. So, like I said, it's extremely scalable.
Yeah.
So this isn't something, it's new to me, but it's not new to Jack. Jack's been doing this for over 10 years.
Got it.
So, and if it works at the NHL level,
Yeah.
it can work for anyone. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what time do you guys meet at?
Right now we're meeting at noon.
Okay.
Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But we will be meeting, like I said, once Jack gets back, we'll have 2 sessions, and it looks like we'll either have a 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. session.
Okay.
And then we'll keep the lunch session as well. Too.
Got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Is Jack from Utah originally, or?
No, Jack's from Madison, Wisconsin, but
Okay.
he fell in love with Utah about a year ago.
Got it.
His wife has been living here for a few years.
Okay.
She's up in Park City. She's also from Wisconsin, and they love it. And they're planning on staying here. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
So, yeah, they love it here, as they should. So
Yeah.
as everybody does. So.
Absolutely. It's a gorgeous state to live in, that's for sure. Awesome. Okay, so are you working with any, just out of curiosity, aspiring Olympians or people that have already made the Olympics?
I haven't worked with anybody that's already made the Olympics, but I definitely am working with some aspiring athletes.
Nice.
Definitely within hockey and downhill skiing.
Okay.
I've worked with one potential athlete in speed skating that could possibly potentially make an Olympic team. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Very
It's kind of
cool.
hard to tell because a lot of the athletes I work with, they're about 16, so
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
where I was when I was 16. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would be considered, even though I was somewhat elite, I don't know if I would be considered a hopeful.
Right.
So the word hopeful is kind of like if you're top 5 in your country.
Got
and
it.
There's 3 spots normally for each event.
Got it.
So that's kind of what hopeful means. So it's kind of hard to tell right now, but there's definitely people have the ability and the talent. Just got to stay healthy and stay consistent. That's really the key to making Olympic teams. So
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. When you say dumbbells, just so the listeners, in case anyone wants to reach out, how heavy should these dumbbells be that they need to get access to? You also said canned food, so I'm assuming not that heavy.
yeah, not that heavy, especially when you're starting out, because our workouts are about an hour long,
Okay.
45 minutes to an hour long. So we're doing quite a high number of reps.
Got it?
I'm not the biggest guy. I use 15 or 20 pound dumbbells for these exercises. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Got it.
I wouldn't say anything over 25.
Okay.
So I would say anywhere from 5 to 15 would probably be a sweet spot. So
Gotcha. And what does this exercise? What do the exercises look like? Are you doing any sprints, or is it all kind of just in place stuff?
it kind of varies depending on the day.
Okay.
Every workout is not completely different, but we
Yeah.
kind of have a Monday workout, which varies.
Yeah.
But the general idea of it stays the same.
Got it.
Wednesday's normally kind of our harder day.
Got it.
And then Friday is kind of more of a mobility day. So the biggest thing with FMT Life is the way it kind of came about was Jack actually started working out with some of his friends
Okay.
up in Park City. And he noticed that all of them were just moving better. They had better range of motion. They were just more supple in their movements. They had like whatever chronic back pain or knee pain they had kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And that was kind of his idea in quarantine this year. He's like, well, why don't I do something like that? Like, I just want to help people feel better.
Right.
And that is kind of the whole idea of FMT Life.
Got
is
it.
to try to, you know, if you come into a or come into a lunch workout,
Yeah.
that you feel better for the rest of your day. You know, when
Right.
you get your workout in. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some intensity. You're definitely going to be burning fat and
Yeah.
building a little bit of muscle from these movements, but it's all movements that are functional in life. It's not like sitting underneath a squat bar and just doing squats or
Right.
doing bench press. I mean, it's great, you're going to build strength doing that, but it's not very applicable to your actual life.
Yeah.
Or even if you're an athlete.
Yeah.
In what sport will you ever be laying on a bench pushing up? You know, that just doesn't.
Never thought of that.
You
Yeah.
know, like it's just, and
Yeah.
that's like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You see people on Instagram, oh, well, this professional athlete is doing this.
Yeah.
But nobody asks the why. Well, why is he doing this? And
Right.
why is he or she doing this? And how is this going to benefit me?
Right.
They just say, oh, you know, Brad Pitt's doing this workout, so
Yeah.
I want to do this workout.
Right.
And they don't think about, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this workout because I have a shoulder injury, or you know.
Right.
And that's kind of what FMT is about. Is just getting people moving better, just getting a little bit more supple, and just is feeling better throughout your day.
That's so important too,
Yeah.
especially right now, right?
Mhm.
With gyms being shut down. I mean, the coronavirus truly showed that you don't need gym equipment if you really want to get in shape because the gyms
Really
are closed.
don't. Yeah,
right.
you really don't. There's
Yeah.
there's just been this huge facade
Yeah.
that's been pushed by the fitness industry, and then all these, you know, quote unquote, you know, fitness people on Instagram,
Right.
that don't really have a lot of knowledge on
Yeah.
what they're doing. You know, they just
Right.
look good in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this huge facade that, oh, you need this high-tech piece of equipment, or this just came out, or all this. You really don't.
Right.
I mean, maybe some of that equipment you need if you're playing in the NFL or
Yeah.
at the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Right.
But a lot of people really skip over this development part
Got
to
it.
get to that. You know?
Yes.
So we kind of focus on that part of it. So
Gotcha. Okay. What age groups can show up to this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday workout?
it's kind of set up for adults, so probably
Okay.
18 and older.
Okay.
It's more of an adult thing. But yeah, it's a great thing. I was kind of skeptical about it at first.
Yeah.
But now I'm totally bought in. So, and I have no
Yeah.
incentive to be bought in. So
Right.
I'm
Right.
donating my time.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
And but yeah, it's been really good for me. Even like lately, I've been so busy with work that
Yeah.
I haven't had time to go work out.
Right.
So now I can coach and work out at the
There
same
you
time and
go.
get my workout in. So it's been good for me. So
That's fantastic. Okay. Well, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm for sure bringing my wife.
Yeah.
And I'm coming because I'm super interested.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. How can people get in touch with you? We got about 3 minutes left in the show, and I want to make sure that people can get in touch with you. We're talking about all this good stuff.
yeah. So you're more than welcome to email me.
Okay.
I have an Instagram page for both FMT Life. Well, Jack has FMT Life, and then
Okay.
I also have a Instagram page for JG Athletics, so more sports specific or athletic development based
Okay.
training. So yeah, my handle on Instagram is JG Athletics,
Perfect.
and then Jack's FMT Life is just fmt.life.
Okay.
Or you can email me at jagpj23@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And then Jack's email, if you want to get in touch with him for FMT Life, is jack@jackskilly.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you guys have a website, either one of you?
I have my own website for
Okay.
JG Athletics, so it's just jgathletics.com.
Perfect.
And then Jack has, I don't think he has an FMT Life website yet, but he does have the Instagram page.
Gotcha.
So yeah, jgathletics.com is my personal website. You can get in touch with me through there.
Got it.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. And if you're driving in a car and you're like, crap, I don't have a pen, you can go to our YouTube channel, and which is Utah Home Sweet Home. Search Utah Home Sweet Home on YouTube. Click on the link. We record all of these shows, so you can definitely watch this show with Jonathan Garcia and listen to the Instagram and email and websites that he just said, and write those down at that time. All right, so Jonathan, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to see if you have any last tips. We've got about a minute and a half left that you can share with anybody out there who has a dream to aspire to. Any tips on pursuing it, mindset, whatever?
Yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about this throughout the show today, but just really not caring what other people think and not getting wrapped up in that.
Yep.
I dealt a lot with that when I was in Texas,
Yep.
speed skating not being very popular.
Right.
Yeah, and just like I think the biggest thing is just the consistency. Like really doing things that you don't want to do after that enthusiasm of this big dream or idea has worn off a little bit. I think just being consistent and just coming in and doing what you need to do as far as work, whether it's physical or mental, every day. I really believe that's what sets apart common people from greatness every day.
Right.
I don't think it's anything you're born with or anything like that. I think it's traits that you can acquire throughout your life. It's it's kind of like a light switch. You just gotta flip it on and keep it on.
Yeah, I love it. Anyone can achieve greatness. They just got to be willing to commit to the consistency.
Yeah, 100%.
Love it. Jonathan, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it too.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you all have a spectacular 4th of July and a wonderful weekend.